Good morning, guys, from Los Patatas Campground in San Ignacio on Baja. Well, today's video is going to cover the topic of the Baja mindset. We've been down here a few days and we're finally starting to feel the Baja vibe. So we thought we'd talk about that today. We're not exactly sure where we're going to end up. We know that we're continuing our push south and we'll see where the road takes us.
The push south is continuing, and today we're going to talk about the Baja mindset. I'm going to speak from the perspective of living in a Western society, and with all the modern technologies, the speed of life moves really quick, and dare I say, I don't really think it's all that healthy for us to be connected 24/7. And when you come down to Baja, it is very similar to going to Alaska. Obviously, the climates and landscapes are completely different, but the vast remoteness and the disconnection you experience from modern technology and all those stressors, that is what makes the Baja mindset so important. Once you get down here, and our trip has been anything but relaxing so far because we're on a calculated and deliberate push south to get to areas that we have not visited before. But I'm 2 days into it and I'm already starting to feel energized, starting to drive a little bit slower, just cherishing and savoring the disconnection. And I think that's what traveling is really all about.
I'm gonna kind of jump off from what Ben was talking about with disconnecting from society, and to me, and I don't think it's just, I'm reticent to call it a Baja mindset because I think that whenever you travel, there is an element of experiencing this opportunity that you don't otherwise have in life to be a little introspective, to take the time to think about what life means to you, to think about what your goals are, to think about what kind of person you want to be, what kind of mark you want to leave on the world. And for some reason, being outside of your comfort zone really affords you that opportunity. And I experience that kind of wherever we go. But Baja definitely affords it to you, and it's just a drive across the border. You don't have to fly anywhere to experience it because you're in a different country. You know, the sounds that you hear are different from the ones you hear at home. The language you hear, the food you put in your mouth, everything, it heightens your senses and it makes you more aware of kind of like the big picture of life, and if you feel like you're headed in the right direction. And I know it's a little sentimental and a little woo-woo, but it really does happen when you travel, to experience this big picture kind of philosophical thought process that when you're at home and busy and the phone's ringing and there's things to do and bills to be paid, that you don't take the time to think about. Travel lets you do that.
Since Beck boldly went woo-woo and sentimental with you, I'm going to get a little personal. We have been doing some things on this trip that we really should be doing more of in day-to-day life for, we'll call it, personal, clear, and clean mental hygiene. We have been meditating. Deepak Chopra and, okay, I'm going to say it, Oprah, they got a really cool meditation series. And don't get intimidated by the word meditation. It is nothing more than just taking a few moments to be introspective, to assess, to gain clarity. You don't need to listen to a guru telling you these things. You could even do it in your own head, sitting on the beach. We've also been taking the time to go for walks and meet people. Just every morning, grab the coffee, go for a little walk and a chat. It really does help get us into the mindset, and there are even better things ahead because I know there's white sand beaches up here. Right there.
Anna's Restaurant and Bar. I think that's what you're looking for, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Got enough crackers there, bud?
When you ask for saladitas, yeah, you get a whole box. All right, this is a mixed cocktail. You'll occasionally find them with pulpo, which is octopus, but in stock they had fresh shrimp and scallops. And hand in hand with like a meal like this, it has to be the saladitas, which are pretty much like a saltine. And I don't know, it's just a staple. They really go well with the shrimp cocktail.
A beautiful beach and a delicious lunch. That was a perfect stop on our way to Loretto. Paths just keep crossing.
Hey guys. After 5 years of making videos, we run into people all over the place, and I have to say it is wonderful. It is so nice seeing you guys out on the road, because that's our objective, is just to have people live life to the fullest. Oh no, there's our neighbors.
Oh, hi.
From the last campsite. Yeah. So you will notice on Baja that you run into people, you leave them, you run into them again.
Over and over.
Yeah, there's essentially one main road, give or take, down here. Ooh, this is bumpy.
Really bumpy.
Yeah. So you just see people, and it's great. It becomes like a sense of community, which is what we also really enjoy.
Yep.
Now we're making our push to Loretto. Woo. That's bumpy, guys. There's a car coming. They are turning in. You are cleared on my side. Big bumps. All right. But this is where a truck like ours comes in handy.
Yeah.
On our way north, we have intentions of camping here along Baja Concepcion, so don't worry. Today is just a calculated push to Loretto. Real life sometimes dictates that, despite what we talked about, getting into the Baja vibe and mindset, reality is still there. Since there's a very deep tone to this video already, we will keep it up and get it all out of the way now. But coming to Loretto here kind of has a little bit of a greater meaning to us, because we had the goal last year of making it all the way down to the tip of Baja, but our dog Shelby, you know, she was 17 at the time and still going very well, all things considered, but she was experiencing health issues, and it just was in her best interest to head back north. So the trip was very much cut short. And we still had the dream of coming down here, making it to the tip, and spending a great, goodly amount of time on Baja and doing it right, in our opinion, the way we want to travel the world once we are overseas. Spend a month in a region, thoroughly embrace and experience the culture. But we never gave up. And this past year has been very rough. We ended up kind of getting forced off the road in some ways. It was for the love of Shelby that we went home last summer to Alaska, and we also got to run our Airbnb, which was, good business. But we just never gave up, and we also made the most out of life. And if there's anything I want you guys to take away from these videos, we like to share the journey and the realities of stuff. Is if you got a dream, see it through, never give up, and just keep on fighting until you knock that thing out of the park. Because life is going to knock you down. It's just a matter of, do you have the strength to keep getting back up time and time again? And it's just very symbolic reaching Loretto. That's about all I have to say about that.
The other thing about being down here is it really reminds us that travel of this nature is genuinely our happy spot. Like, we're so much better as individuals, we're so much better as a couple, we're a lot happier in all ways when we're getting to live life like this. And you kind of forget when you go home and you get back into the normal groove of things in the States, what it feels like and how freeing it is, and what that means for yourself and your relationships by really stepping outside of that comfort zone. And there's a lot of fun to be had in that area, in that place.
We are heading to Romanita. I'm not sure if it's an RV park, more of a campground, but the really fascinating thing is that the location kind of is a little bit unique to get to, because you drive down into kind of almost the little town square, like the pedestrian walkway. There are very few vehicles on this little pathway, and you're wondering, like, oh my goodness, should I be driving on this?
Not sure we should be.
Yeah, like I don't see any other vehicles. But there's Romanita, an awesome little gem in the heart of Loretto.
This is our beautiful camp spot. We really enjoyed this place last year, and looking forward to taking some walks down to the square, checking the place out, getting some work done.
This campground is mildly big rig friendly, but there's a lot of palm trees. I will definitely say smaller the better, but awesome little gem right in the heart of Loretto. It's great to see you again.
See you too, brother.
All right, so this is Eric and Brittany. Way back when, RV Wanderlust, and now, is it primarily Jeepsies? Or
Today
is it a little bit of everything? Okay.
This trip
Caspian's up.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, dude.
Caspian, lay down. It's nap time.
Oh.
I wondered if that's what was going on, because I was like, where's Caspian? And then I saw little feet kicking up in the window.
It's hard to settle down in the treehouse.
It is.
Nice rig, guys.
Yeah.
Has it been doing well down
See
here?
our Mad Max drive shaft?
Yeah,
Nice.
Rolling Mad Max style.
but at least you're still very capable in two-wheel drive.
And we can still do the low gear ratio on the rear tires. So.
Oh, nice. Well, it's going to be great getting to know Eric and Brittany and Caspian a little better. Being in the same community of social media people and the RV travel demographic, we have known of each other for many, many years.
Never really crossed
Yeah.
paths though till now.
So, we are going to enjoy Loretto, but we are also here to get off the road and get a little bit of work done, because that's the realities of life.
This is where our videos ended last year, so as a matter of principle, this will continue into tomorrow. We're not quitting the video today. we're gonna keep going south and get back up from where we left off last year. Good morning! We find ourselves back on the road after a couple of nights in Loretto. Can't lie, we lost our Baja vibe a little bit hanging out in the urban areas. Really fought the internet, had a tough time getting a video up for you guys, but that's alright. Today though, we are headed south, and this is completely uncharted territory for us. We have never driven south of Loretto. We're really looking forward to what the southern tip of Baja has to offer. And right now we're headed towards La Paz because one of our dearest friends from Alaska works on cruise ships down here in Mexico in the wintertime, and she has the afternoon off her boat tomorrow in La Paz. And when everybody is from Alaska and y'all happen to be in Mexico at the same time, you make a point to get together.
This impact on the windshield was from the Alaska Highway, and there's a fresh crack forming down here from Baja. All right, we are approaching La Paz. Beautiful drive along the Sea of Cortez, but then it kind of just got into the desert, and yeah, there's beauty everywhere, but just being honest, it was kind of blah. Pretty excited to head into La Paz because we have a camping area picked out. It is close to town, but I believe it's going to be on a really nice beach.
Mission accomplished. That video uploaded in a matter of minutes here at the Campestre Maranatha. The cafe has some awesome food, wicked Wi-Fi, and the campground here looks really nice. But we are off to the beach now.
Well, there's a few reasons why our next camper had to have four-wheel drive, and this is one of the big ones because we're gonna go camp on a beach. We're airing down.
Clearly. Just gotta get out of the ruts.
Okay, take two. Wow, this is soft sand.
Yep.
Time for a U-turn. Woohoo! All right, this will work.
I think this will do.
Heck yeah, we know these people.
Me too. That's awesome. Are we level then?
We'll get level here in a sec. We had so much fun yesterday evening with Karsten, Steffi, David, and Katie in the fellow overlanding vehicles over there. It's a bit early. They were not camera ready, but we are kind of running out of here quick because we had a speed bump, a really bad one, the other day. And upon further inspection, there's some cracks in the frame of the camper box. And You know, lo and behold, they hit the same one too and messed up their rig. And now we're leaving this really cool beach site that I don't want to leave because there's whale sharks right out there. But we have to get this fixed. Oh, gotta love four-wheel drive. It's a warm one in La Paz today, but we found a welding shop. I don't know, they're really good. They got some good reviews here, and it's estimated at 4,000 pesos, and they're gonna clean up some corroded parts and hopefully make things a little bit better. But that was a definite big impact that we had. It was so big that Karsten and Steffi on their Iveco truck, they hit the same one, and one of their fuel tank brackets broke off, and then they also almost lost their motorcycle off the back. So needless to say, I plan on marking that and sharing it with you guys to watch out for that damn speed bump, because it takes its toll on these vehicles. Yesterday, this was not present, and then we're also, you know, this is like caulking sealant, but it right down there, it's starting to separate. And down below here, right there, is a good crack, and you can see that it is off. You know, it's not on a smooth plane right there. So I think we're gonna have to jack or put like some type of a jack stand underneath here so that bar can then get straightened. I'm still trying to figure out if this is a poor design, corroded metal, fatigue. Not exactly sure, because that weld we had fixed a couple months ago in Lake Havasu is in this general area here, but this one is further up. So not too sure what the long term is. Short term is get this thing welded up and hopefully not hit any more of those massive speed bumps. Since the boxes are off and we have a lot better access, they are going to be reinforcing this area with some more angle iron, and they're doing a very good job of fabricating the pieces. They're taking a lot of time. This is the type of reinforcing job that we should have done in Lake Havasu, but just for the sake of time and that shop's availability, you know, they made the offer of just helping us patch it up. But being able to take those boxes off and just have all the proper angles and be able to put new angle iron up and just reinforce things, this is good. It was a weak point, and these subframes do take a lot of stress. Our box is not bolted directly onto the frame. There's like a 3-point pivot system in the middle. That's just kind of one of those features on these expedition vehicles, but there is a lot of movement back here.
After the welding job in La Paz, we ended up landing in Todos Santos on a beautiful beach where we've taken a few days to do some much needed relaxing as well as getting some work done.
Yep.
And ate some good food and had a great time all around.
Yeah. Was able to edit a video and even binge watched a little bit of Modern Family, enjoyed the campfire, flew the drone a little. Not too bad. I want to thank you guys for riding along with us on this journey so far. It has been a very fast moving one. We acknowledge that. We intentionally did that. We are now at the part of the trip where we roughly have 4 weeks or so to work our way north, and we are going to be exploring back roads and just off the beaten path places, and that's what I've really been looking forward to. So thanks for riding along with us, and we will see you on the road.